welcome. I'm so excited for today. We're making one of my summer favorites, and that is frozen hot chocolate. So this is based on my wildly popular hot chocolate recipe, but in a frozen form. And I'm going to show you two different ways to make that today. So first we're just going to check and make sure everything's working. So if you're online, if you could comment for me, simply so that I can make sure everything's working, we will get started. So let me know, sorry, putting my phone down so I can read the comments. Let me know where you guys are coming from. Okay, I will plug in my other microphone so you can actually hear me, I hope. All right. Yay, Jacob is watching, Crystal is watching from Alberta. Wonderful, looks like everything's working, so we will get started. So backstory to this is on my 30th birthday, my best friend from Arizona was flying out to Texas to spend the weekend with me. And then we had a hurricane. And I had an allergic reaction to some medication. Like my 30th birthday was kind of not great. So we decided that instead of trying to find another weekend for her to fly out, because of course the flight got canceled with the hurricane, we decided that we would make a trip. And so we decided to go to New York City. We had so much fun. It was all about shows and all of the touristy stuff and of course food. And one of the favorite things that we had was the frozen hot chocolate at Serendipity. I'd always heard about it, so of course I wanted to go. And it was just as good as you would hope it would be. And upon trying it, I'm like, phew, gotta figure out how to make this at home. So I actually experimented with it a little. I tried doing it with my hot chocolate cooled down, added with some ice cream and blended together and seeing if that worked. And I didn't love that. It was more of a milkshake, right? I tried doing what everybody else online was doing, and that was taking my hot chocolate a little bit more concentrated and mixing it with ice in a blender and turning it into a slushie that way, and that worked. But it was a little watery for my taste because of all the ice that you're grinding up into it. And I prefer my classic hot chocolate made with milk, not water, right? Like I don't do the whole packet and water thing. Ugh. So it was fine. The texture was okay. I just didn't love it. And so then I ended up running it through my ice cream maker for a little bit less time than like the full amount, and not with as much fat, not with as much cream, so that it wouldn't turn into ice cream. It would just stay slushy, and it was perfection. So that's how I make it now. But today, because I know not everybody has an ice cream machine, I'm going to make it in my ice cream machine, but I'm also going to make it in the blender format so you can see how easy it is to make it either way. Whatever equipment you have, you'll be able to make this recipe at home. So the base of this is my classic hot chocolate, which has been probably one of the most popular recipes on my site for 5 years now. My hot chocolate is amazing. So we're going to start by making that base, and what that includes is, let's get my camera changing thing up. We're going to take some sugar and put that in a saucepan. We're also going to take some salt and put that in, put that in the saucepan as well, measuring out my salt. And then we're going to add some cocoa. And now we're going to whisk all of this together. Let's see, we have people from Mississippi, from Eugene, Oregon. I used to live there, Sharon. I love it there. From Winnipeg, James watching from Redding, California. Lorraine watching from Salt Lake City. That's actually where I'm located. So you're super close to me. Welcome, welcome. Glad you guys could watch. Trying to turn something off. There we go. And from Cookeville, Tennessee, from Corpus Christi, Texas. Love the color of my hair. Thank you so much, Marilyn. I appreciate that. All right, so once that is all mixed together, and really what we're trying to do is break up that cocoa with those sugar granules. Now we're going to add a little bit of water. Now I know I don't like to use water in my hot chocolate because I don't like watery hot chocolate. I like creamy hot chocolate, but this water is actually to help the cocoa bloom and to help dissolve the sugar. So we're just going to bring this mixture, it has very little water, we're going to bring this mixture to a boil now, quickly. And you just want to get all of that wet. And then as it boils, that's going to dissolve everything. Now once it's whisked, Once you whisk it all together, you can go back to using something else, a spatula or a wooden spoon. We just want to make sure that nothing burns to the bottom, of course. That's another reason it's nice to use water at the beginning like this, not dairy. If you tried to get the sugar dissolved and the cocoa bloomed in dairy, it wouldn't work out so well. So just a little bit of water to get this all melted together, so bring it to a boil. Margaret, this is how your mom always made it. Oh, that's wonderful. Patricia from Green Bay, lovely. Patricia from Arkansas. 2 Patricias on right now from Arkansas. Welcome, welcome. Oh, Houston, Texas. I used to live there too. Chicago. Tracy, I was just there. I loved Chicago. I had so much good food there. And Saratoga Springs, Utah. Wow, I don't usually have a lot of home-based people from Utah watching, so that's kind of fun. Let's see, I'm going to lighten this up a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. There we go. Now this is an induction top, so it shouldn't take too long to boil really quickly. And as you can see already, you can already see that it's really liquidy already. All of those powders are already dissolving. You can see the bubbles starting already. And I think you can probably see that it's not super grainy, like that granulated sugar is already dissolved pretty quickly. Alright, so now it's at a boil, and we want to boil it for 1 minute, and this is what is going to give the cocoa a better flavor. It's called blooming the cocoa, hot water and cocoa. This is why when you make a chocolate cake, so often it calls for boiling water to be added to the recipe. It's because boiling water makes the cocoa bloom, and it brings out a much better flavor. If I ever am like someplace where they have cocoa packets and boiling water, what I usually do is I'll take 2 packets, put a little bit of boiling water in it, and stir it to get it all dissolved, and then I'll go find the milk. That's how I do it when we're like staying at one of those hotels that has like a breakfast in the morning or something like that. So you don't have to stir it during this time. I am just making sure that nothing burns to the bottom, so I'm just kind of taking a swipe through. But really that's not what this moment right here is about. It's really just about getting that bloom on. Jill, you'll be right over. Yay! Margaret from Springtown, Texas. Where is Springtown? I used to live in the Woodlands, right across from Spring, Texas, but I don't know where Springtown is. Missouri timer. Okay, it's been 1 minute. Turn that off. And obviously to go into an ice cream maker, we don't want to put anything boiling. So I'm going to turn the heat off and take it off the heat. And move this out of our way. Oh, I'm taking my napkin with me. Alright, so what we want to do now is get the dairy mixed in with this so it's nice and creamy. So first thing I'm going to do is add the milk, and I'm going to add the milk right to the pot while I'm stirring. I'm going to get this all mixed in. I'm even going to scrape the sides because I'm not worried about this being granulated because there's just not that much. And we got it nice and dissolved before we moved on. San Angelo, Texas. Texas has some of the best names. West of Fort Worth. Okay, well I know right where that is. Sydney, Australia. Tony, welcome. I have no idea what time it could possibly be there. Rio de Janeiro. Wow, we have people from all over the place today. India. You guys, this is so... I always love it when we have a really big mix of people. It's just all I want to do out of life. My kids asked, if you became a millionaire, what would we do differently, as a family? Like I said, if you made $1 million, would we live in a mansion? My kids ask me this all the time. They love what if questions. And my answer is always no. I mean, I'd probably fix up my kitchen and get a double oven. I'd splurge. And then beyond that, we would travel. Just travel. I just want to see the whole world. All right, so now I'm going to take a glass measuring cup. Now, we wouldn't want to put something super hot right in here. So by adding the milk to this, one, we were able to kind of deglaze the pan. You don't really have to deglaze. This is not quite the same thing as when you're cooking vegetables in oil. But we did get all of that chocolate mixture. Hold on. See if you can see this better. We did get all of the chocolate from the sides and the bottom of the pan mixed in. And the milk also cooled it down. So now we're going to add this to this measuring cup. Now notice, can you see, there's still like a little bit of chocolate over here. And I'm just going to quickly take the rest of the liquid in this pan. I always do this just to make sure I'm getting all of that chocolatey goodness. So after I get this all poured in, the pan should be fairly clean looking, right? And then I'm going to add a little bit of heavy whipping cream. And this is just adding a little bit of a higher fat content to this. And it's also just going to help it in the machine be a little bit of a better, smoother, creamier texture. You can totally do this with just milk. What I would say is only add a little bit of the milk to the pot for our chocolate deglazing, and then keep the rest of the milk. That'll help just cool it down faster. I like to get this made as quickly as possible. Like, I don't want to have to think too hard about it. So by doing it this way and adding the cold cream afterwards, we've actually chilled this down quite a bit. Ooh, didn't mean to move the camera. And it's actually cold enough that we could put it in the ice cream machine right now to turn into the slushy. It would take a little longer than normal because it is not cold, but it's also not hot. But what we're going to do is stick it in the fridge. It should take probably about an hour to chill, as cold as I'd like it to be. And then, whoa, the dishwasher just went off. Make sure that it's nice and cold. Put it in the ice cream maker, and it'll only take about 25 to 30 minutes to turn into that beautiful slush. So for the blender version of this, now notice this makes 4 cups, this mixture, because that's the size of ice cream maker. Well, let's get that stopped. That's the size ice cream maker that I have. And so 4 cups is always like my goal for liquid when it comes to my 1.5 quart ice cream maker. But if we're going to be adding ice cubes to this and blending it in the blender to do a blender version of this, I just have all of this liquid I just added, and now I'm going to water it down even more. I don't want to do that. So what I recommend for the blender version of this is to cut the milk and the cream in half. Instead of adding the 2 cups and 1 cup, so 3 cups of total dairy together, I would only do 1.5 cups. And that's going to make a much more concentrated cocoa base. So then when we add it to the blender, that's going to work out. Anyway, I'm just going to show you. That seems like that will be easier. Okay, so I'm going to bring my blender over. I'm going to put that in the fridge, and I've already pre-made a mixture for the blender. So speaking of, not that we were blenders, look at my new mixer. Isn't she pretty? I need a name for her. So my white one, which I still have and still use, is Vera from Firefly. So now I need a name for this black beauty. Not quite sure what to go with. My first Bosch was named Bessie because she was my workhorse. The next one was named Vera from Firefly because she's my favorite tool, my favorite weapon of choice, I guess. My favorite blender. And so I don't have a name for this one yet. She's brand new. I just got her. She's so pretty. Alright, so I've attached my blender. I'm getting it centered under the camera so you guys can see everything. Bring this camera down. It's always fun doing all the technical stuff while talking with you guys. Okay. So I'm going to get ice now, and that mixture that I've already had chilling for, as you can see, well, you will be able to see in just a second. So it's a lot less. It's about just about 2 cups. It's a little over 2 cups. Okay, ice. Now you want to make sure, of course, that your blender can handle ice. Not all blenders can. Sorry, get that out of frame. This just looks a little bit nicer. All right. So we're going to, I want to add about 2 cups of ice. Now I know that my mixture right here, because I have it in a measuring cup, is 2 cups. So I'm going to add some ice now, but I obviously don't know how much it is. I'm just kind of guessing. All right, and now I'm going to add my liquid. Ooh. And since it's been sitting in the fridge, some of the liquid kind of sticks to the bottom. I just swirl this around. This is my trick when I have leftover hot chocolate too. I just swirl around the Tupperware, and all of the, as the cocoa has separated, the pre-made hot chocolate is separated, swirling it around just gets nice. Okay, so this blender has cups on it, so it's only at 3 cups now, so I know I've only added about 1 cup of ice, but that's fine. I'm gonna start with it like this and then add more ice as I go. So let's turn it on. Now I'm gonna start adding more ice. As you can see, let's get the other shot. As you can see, it's a lot thicker. It's still not quite the slushy texture that I like, but we're at 4 cups now. The cream in it also kind of helps. Sorry, break it. I'm using a spoon to break up my ice. My ice is all stuck to my bowl, you guys. I can't get any more ice cubes out. If somebody wants to block the person talking about couches, that would be great. Just report them and get rid of them. This black one is exactly the same as the white. It's just the color that's different. Yes, Grace. Why not make milk ice cubes? Nicholas, Nicole, that's a great question. The reason that I don't do milk ice cubes, come bring it to me. Let me see. Is because dairy doesn't freeze well. Oh, ha ha ha. Usually put my hand over the top. One a little longer. 5 more minutes. Alright, so I'm just going to keep adding ice cubes. Texture that I want. Now there's kind of a balancing act. Oh good, I think we're there now. So there's kind of a balancing act because the more ice that you add, obviously the more slushy you're going to get, but the more ice you add, also the more flavor that you're diluting. So you kind of want to watch and be careful. Also, the longer you go, the more the ice that's in there is melting and warming up, especially when it's really hot and your air conditioner isn't working and you've been cooking in the oven all day, like me. Hopefully none of you guys have been using the oven. It's not 500 degrees at your house. But so yeah, so there's kind of a balancing act. So let's, I'm going to quickly pulse this just to make sure there's no big ice chunks at the bottom. All right, and I'm going to put this aside, move the Bosch out of the way and wiped it down because I made a mess. Everything is just splattered everywhere. Anyway, so yeah, if you guys have recommendations or suggestions for names for my newest toy, let me know. I cannot wait. In fact, I also just got the new Bosch Artisan, which is a little bit smaller. It doesn't have the tower for the blender. It's a slightly less powerful, but it's still amazing. So I'm excited to try that out too. They sent it to me to try and see what I think. So I'm excited to play with that. All right, let's move this out of the way. And just like at Serendipity, I got some of these big bowls and you serve it on top of a plate and you fill it until it starts to pour over the edges. So that is what we are going to do. Hey, Brooklyn K, baby girl. All right, let's do this. And pour this in so you can see the texture. And this just, as the second you stop, it just starts melting, right? So there we go. Now I will say this makes like 2 serendipity sized servings. You can see the outside is already like melty, but the texture is good inside. Let's add the whipped cream to it. I pre-made some whipped cream again this week, so we can have that. When I start doing these lives, my kitchen's all like organized and ready, and by the time the live is over, I'm just throwing stuff everywhere to get it out of the way as fast as possible, and it's such a mess. It's really quite funny. All right, so I'm gonna add some, whipped cream to the top. And shave some chocolate onto the top. Now if you want to make a mint version of this, just add mint extract along with the vanilla and serve it with some chocolate curls on top. I just put this Hershey bar in the fridge for like 20 minutes just to make sure it was nice and hard. All right, here we go. So here is the blender version, and now we get to try it. Let's see. So you can see it is nice and slushy. It's melting fairly quickly. There we go. But it still tastes amazing. But I am definitely making a mess. So like I said at the beginning of the video, when I tried all the different versions of homemade frozen hot chocolate, the ice cube and blender version works great. It really does. It's just a slightly different texture than making the ice cream maker. They're both slushy, but this one, because we've added the ice cubes with the water, it's just a little, icier, I guess is the best way to describe that. And it melts, I feel like it melts faster when it's made with the ice cubes in the blender. Oh, I'm still giving myself a frozen headache. Okay, so that's my opinion on that one. It works great. Serve it right away. It's not going to last. You're not going to be able to put it in the freezer. Like, this is one of those make fresh and serve immediately dishes, but my kids love it. It makes 2 serendipity size servings, but at the end of the day, it's like 4 or 5 cups, right? Like, when you have a family of my size, I just get the kids out little bowls and pour some in there and give them a spoon, and they enjoy it. It works awesome that way. All right, so next up, I'm enjoying this. Next up is the ice cream version, and I have had some running in my ice cream maker already, so I'm gonna get that out. Hey, Brooklyn? Brooklyn?
I'm not Brooklyn.
I know, can you go tell Brooklyn I'm ready for her to bring that to me?
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, can I put this away first?
I'm still filming. Can you just go get her?
Okay.
Thank you. No, she's up here in my office. Okay. My assistant for the day. I didn't want to have to like leave and come back, so I asked her to be in charge of that. Oh, I'm spilling everywhere. I'm ready for that. Can you bring it to me? All right. It spilled over onto the plate and onto the counter now, so hold on. Ooh, trying to bring it over to the sink without spilling a bunch more. Oop. I did it. Yes, but definitely very messy if you want to go the overflow route. There's a reason that they serve it on top of a plate at the restaurant. Okay, let's wipe everything down again. Oh wait, where's the whole bowl? I need the whole bowl. Yes. Did you run it for 5 more minutes? Okay. Just checking. Yeah, but bring me the whole thing. All right, so now I'm going to show you the ice cream attachment. Margaret, you need to buy an ice cream maker. Any ideas on a good brand? So today I'm trying out the attachment for the Bosch. So it's an ice cream maker where you add the ice and the ice salts, a little bit more of an old-fashioned homey feeling, but you don't have to hand crank it because the Bosch does it for you. This is my second time using it, and I really like it, and it's actually bigger than my last ice cream maker, so I like that because before the 1.5 quarts was just kind of small for my large family. But up until now, I've been using the Cuisinart. Thanks. The Cuisinart ice cream maker. Oh, holy cow. Brooklyn, you needed to add more ice.
Oh.
All right. And I can't get this to reattach. Lovely. Okay, so this was a bust. The ice all melted. It is really hot today, and my air conditioner is not working very good. Okay, well this is going to be fun, because this is not even close to being done. Let's look at the texture of this. Oh, this looks like a Frosty. Lovely. Gotta love that. Oops. Yeah, this is not even close to the right texture. This is Frosty texture, and look, it's all ice and water. That's fun. Okay, so we're gonna quickly do a little fake out. It is seriously, you guys, so warm today, and my daughter did not realize she needed to keep filling this with ice. So we're gonna make a quick change of equipment. And, oops, wrong camera. Quick change of equipment and get my other ice cream maker out real fast. We can run this for a little bit longer just to get that slushiness in, hopefully. That is the danger of trying to make frozen stuff this time of year. So this is the Cuisinart one that I have had for years and years and years. I got one with a double bowl. So I always just keep, and this is one that the kind where you just have the bowl in the freezer. If you don't just keep your bowl in your freezer like I do, then you want to make sure that you put it in at least 20 hours before whatever it is you're gonna make. So, and this is gonna be fun. Take this one out of the bush. I'm going to start the Cuisinart mixer going. Okay, and now we're going to pour this in. So this is close, as you can see. It's just a little too frosty for me versus slushy. This all transferred over. Gotta love how everything goes wrong when you're doing it live. Like, I make frozen hot chocolate probably every week, and I've never had a problem. And of course today I ended up baking a ton this morning and overheating my kitchen, and now this is what we're going through. Always happens when you're live. Okay. So, so this machine is really loud, which is why I had the other one running in the other room. So to recap from what we've done already, hopefully you can still hear me even though this thing is really loud. We made the hot chocolate base by blooming the cocoa along with some sugar and salt with some warm water and boiling it all together. Then we added our dairy because I like my hot chocolate creamy. For the slushy version that you make in the ice cream maker, I added 2 cups milk, 1 cup cream. For the blender version, I added 1 cup milk, half cup cream, and then I blended that in my blender with 2 cups of ice, about-ish. For the ice cream version, I just chilled it in the fridge, and then I ran it through my ice cream maker. It usually takes about 25 to 30 minutes as long as your ice doesn't melt and your ice cream maker stays nice and cold. All right, let's check out the texture on this. see what we think. Hopefully you can kind of see that. It's close, but not quite where I want it to be yet. So we're going to let it run for just a couple more minutes. And I will answer some questions. Grace, you use your Vitamix and blend all the ingredients. Does it blend it too much though? Does it stay slushy? I know it's hard to hear over the machine. Sorry about that. Do I chill the mixture? Yes, Nicole, I do chill the mixture. You can make it up to like a day in advance. I make it at least an hour in advance. So it's just kind of your own priority. You know, if you use the cold milk and the cold cream and you chill it quite a bit before chilling it in the fridge, that also helps. You love the recipe. Thanks for sharing them. You are so welcome, Lynn. I'm so glad you like it. How much sugar and cocoa? I don't remember. I make so many different versions of my hot chocolate. This one was a 1/4 cup cocoa, 1/2 cup sugar, 1/2 teaspoon salt. And of course the printable recipe is on my site if you click over to the link, or if you're on YouTube, it's just down in the description box. So you can just get it right there. Alright, well we are just gonna finish this up and go forward with it. I usually let it slush up just a little bit more. I don't know why it's having focusing problems. Man, this thing is so loud. My kids hate running this ice cream maker. So one of the things to be aware of when you're using an ice cream maker like this, the kind that has the frozen, is that the outer edge is where it's freezing, and then this is scraping the crystallization and keeping that intermixed, but it doesn't go all the way to the edge. You can see there's kind of like just a little bit of frozen on the edge. Okay. So let's get this out of the way now. You don't even want to know how much equipment I have everywhere here. And bring this back into frame. And let's pour this in. And add this here. This is looking a little more ice cream versus slushy, and I think it's just because of all the problems that we were having with the machine. Like I said, it looks more like a Frosty. It's really, I would say, about watching it, just depending on the temperature of your house and how your ice cream maker works. So I just keep an eye on it. I usually check it about the 20-minute mark, and then I just keep checking it until it's the consistency that I'm looking for. So let's add the whipped cream in now, and the chocolate shavings again. The fun thing is, for my daughter's 18th birthday / graduation present, I am taking her to New York next week, and we are going to hit up the actual Serendipity, and she will be able to try this for herself. Over here where you can see the texture a little bit. So I'm super excited about that. All right. Oh, come on, focus. There we go. So again, it's all about using the equipment that you have. The recipe can be used for a blender, as I've shown you, or for an ice cream maker, which I didn't show you very well. And yeah, it's just that simple. So I hope you enjoyed this recipe. I hope you give frozen hot chocolate a try. This is actually the same technique I use for my frozen butterbeer as well. I love making slushy type desserts using my ice cream maker like this. I kind of think that maybe it just froze faster than normal and I didn't catch it in time, and that's why it's more ice creamy than slushy-y. I should have probably stopped it earlier, not later. But yeah, without being the one who's checking on it and watching it, it's kind of hard to know for sure. So I will stay on and answer some more questions. And thank you so much. Next week, I'm actually going to be in New York next Tuesday. at Serendipity myself. And so I'm actually going to do my live a day early on Monday before I leave for New York. And we're going to be making butterbeer caramel popcorn. So I'm super excited about it in honor of Harry Potter's birthday this month. So don't forget to come back and check that out. It'll be Monday instead of Tuesday, but at the exact same time, 4:30 Mountain Standard Time. Yeah, so again, yeah, I'll stay on, answer some questions, and have a great week. Oops. I'm trying to close that so I can read the comments. There's a pop-up in the way. Okay, so what do we got here? Did you tell them to make sure? Yes. Hi from the high desert of California, 104 degrees. Oh, I don't know what temperature it is here, but I think it's close to 100. We're in the high 90s today. You could really go for this delicious frozen dessert right now. Yes, I make this all the time in the summer. My kids love it. In the winter, we make hot chocolate every week. In the summer, we make frozen hot chocolate every week. That looks really good. Can make a butterbeer episode. I actually did, Libby, last year. I did a full butterbeer episode where we made all of the different versions of butterbeer on the internet, including the one that I created. And I made them, and then I had my kids taste test them, see what they saw, and it was a big, long live. We did that last year. And I just refilmed making it all in a more professional edited format, and that will go up this Saturday, showing how to make cold butterbeer, frozen butterbeer, warm butterbeer, and then ice cream float butterbeer. So look for that on Saturday. Have a wonderful and safe trip. Thank you. I will. It's actually a powdered mixture you can buy called serendipity. They said it's the real thing. I don't know. I haven't tried that. I'm not into mixes though. I'm into making things from scratch. I always have cocoa, sugar, salt, and milk. I don't always have packets. You know what I mean? But I'm sure it's amazing. You're in the hundreds too. Oh, can't wait for butterbeer. You've never had it. Butterbeer is amazing. And again, my favorite butterbeer is the frozen butterbeer, which I use using this same technique of making it in the ice cream maker. About Crookshanks as a mixer name. Yes, but Crookshanks isn't all that of a workhorse. But that is a good suggestion. You'll be back for sure for Harry Potter, and Harry Potter and you share the same birthday, Crystal. That is really fun. Harry Potter's actually is my friend Kaylynn's birthday as well, so she tends to have a lot of Harry Potter parties. She's the one I made the snitch cake for, actually. I think I'm all caught up. If I did not get to your question, I'm so sorry. You can quickly ask it again, or I will try to catch up another time. So again, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to enjoy my frozen hot chocolate, try to cool down by turning off all the lights in the kitchen. And thanks again. See you guys next week. Bye.